me record it. This is a recorded event because there are some members, potential members, nurses, nursing students who might view this after this presentation. Okay, so let's start with, trying to go to my screen there, share my screen, which is probably this one. No. So I want to share about Sigma Theta Tau. That's fine with you guys. Okay, what is this organization? So welcome to Sigma, right? Sigma Theta Tau is an organization that has the values of love, courage, and honor. So what's the history about this? So the history is that in 1922, 6 nurses on the left side. Can you see my screen? Can everybody see my screen? Okay. So on the left side, you can see 6 nurses who founded Sigma Theta Tau at Indiana University Training School for Nurses. Okay, and then 100 years went by. So by 2022, they're going to be a 100-year-old organization. And by this time, from 6 nurses in Indiana, there are now 135,000 members all over the world, more than 540 chapters, and also it's in more than 100 countries. So very exciting, right? So Sigma, the vision of Sigma is to have a connected, empowered nurse leaders transforming global healthcare. And the mission of Sigma is to develop nurse leaders anywhere to improve healthcare everywhere. So why Sigma? Why become a member? Because free continuing nursing education about every topic about nursing that you can think of, free journals and member publications, career connections, mentorship to shape your path, invaluable conversations with nurses all over the world. This year alone, our chapter gave more than $4,000 in grants this year to nurses who are doing research and also global initiatives. And so there's an application process for that. And also we are sending 3 people to go to the biennial convention in Indiana next week. And each of those are receiving $1,200. So why join, right? So how to join? Sigma is open for membership to baccalaureate and graduate nursing students who demonstrate excellence in scholarship and to nurse leaders exhibiting exceptional achievements in nursing. You apply in December and be inducted in February. So we have a date already in February. I'm going to show it in the next slide. Become a board member. So you can see the names of the board members here. You can approach any of them. Email us with questions, and we'd love to have you. Okay. So here's the chapter website. I just want to share it, and also the Facebook page. So what are we going to do today? After this welcome, we're going to have Diane introduce the speaker, and also then James will talk. Okay. And so I'm putting in here the upcoming events next week, the biennial convention, and also the chapter induction, February 26, 2022 at Cooperage in Sonoma State University. Okay. And then we'd love for you to evaluate this event. Please, we want to hear from you. You can use that QR code also to get to that website. Okay, so I'll minimize the screen and go back to the other screen, or maybe to our original. Sorry, I'm new to Zoom too. Let's go to Zoom. And would people want to share who they are? Please go around the room. Jackie, are you there? Jordan?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm in the mountains, so hopefully I won't cut out in the middle.
Okay.
I'm Jacqueline Clapple Hall, and I'm a member of Sigma Theta Tau for about 7 years now, working in the vaccines, of working on projects, and being a recipient of grants for a couple of times with my own PhD research in a current global project that I'm doing. And I'm very excited to be a member of Sigma Theta Tau because they are supporters of their members and their members' projects to help citizens that we come in contact with. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jackie. Next. Jordan, are you there? Let me see. You know, I'm lost. Oh,
Yes, I'm here. I'm cooking dinner for my boys, so I'm away from the screen but watching.
okay. So introduce yourself.
My name's Jordan. I'm the director of the nurse practitioner program here at Sonoma State, and I've been a member of Sigma over, boy, it's been about a decade now.
Okay, next. Who else want to go? Kimberly Manuel. I'm going down the line here. Trying to find where I'm supposed to be here in my screen. Okay, Kimberly. Next, Leslie. Anybody else? And there are about, wow, we are at like 30 participants now. So please unmute and introduce yourselves while I figure out my screen.
Can you hear me?
Next, this is
Yes, there you go. Oh,
this is
okay.
Krista Alltaker,
hello, Krista.
and I have been at Sigma for also about a little over 10 years, I think, and I am the director of the post-licensure BSN program at Sonoma State, and have been teaching there since 2011. Thanks.
Next. Sharon. Oh, Karen. I got her hands up. Yes, Karen.
My name is Karen Cole, and I've been a member for just over a decade. I'm the past president. I've enjoyed the main position that I've enjoyed at Sigma Theta Tau is membership. I am former faculty from Sonoma State University, which is who inducted me into Sigma Theta Tau. And I am now full-time faculty at Napa Valley College, and I'm happy to be here. I'm excited about this event.
Awesome. Wants to go next? Leslie.
Hi, I just got on, didn't hear the instructions.
Just introduce yourself.
Oh, okay, that's easy. So, Dr. Leslie Crane, I'm full-time faculty at Santa Rosa JC and simulation coordinator. I also research and write continuing education courses for an online company, and also work as a nurse consultant, legal nurse consultant. I joined Sigma Theta Tau a year after I graduated from the MSN program at Sonoma State. And so that has been 11, 12 years. And was dragged onto the board by my friend Anita Kaplan. And I'm so glad she did, because I've been enjoying this position.
Awesome. Next, Elena Brogan.
Hi, I'm, I guess we're introducing ourselves. So I'm
Yes.
a lecturer in the nursing program at Sonoma State. And I work in the community health area and also human sexuality, and have been a Sigma Theta Tau member for probably 20 years. And happy to be here and happy to support Constancia and James in their efforts.
Next, Maria Bidenbeck.
I'm Maria Bidenbeck, and I'm a full-time faculty member, professor at Napa Valley College and the ADN program. And Anita Catlin was one of the faculty members at the time who submitted my application for induction into Sigma Theta Tau. So been with this nursing endeavor for many, many years. And thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. Sharon Kaplan.
Hi, I'm a student in the nurse practitioner program at Sonoma State, and I'm not a member, but I found out about this program, which sounds so awesome. So I'm here to learn and hear these stories.
Thank you for joining us. Next, Jessica Casita. Or Christina Diaz.
Jessica, can say hi. Can you want to say hello? She's a student.
Oh, hello. Student at, hello, Jessica.
Jessica, I'm a nursing student at Napa Valley College, and I heard from you guys because Karen Canepa is my clinical.
You're breaking up, Jessica, okay, but welcome. Next, Christina Diaz.
I'm a 4th semester nursing student at Napa Valley College, and same, I heard from you from Karen Canepa because she's my clinical instructor.
Thank you for joining us. Next, Cassandra Thomas.
Hi, I'm Cassandra. Also one of Karen's minions. Just kidding, it's a student. But I'm excited to be here.
Awesome, thank you. Carrie.
Hello, my name's Garen. I'm also one of Karen Canepa's students at Napa Valley College.
Wow, Karen. Awesome. Next, Kimberly Manuel.
Hi, my name's Kim. I'm a student in the BSN program at Sonoma State, and I heard about this event from Dr. Krista Altiker, and so I thought I'd come and listen.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you for coming. Next, Lindsay O'Hare.
Hello, my name is Lindsay. I'm a 4th semester student at Napa Valley College, and Karen is also my professor.
Okay. Next, Susanna. You don't have a last name.
I'm a nursing student from Napa Valley College as well. And Karen is my clinical instructor.
Okay, Karen. Kelly Ellen.
Hi, it's Kelly Allen, clinical and informatics educator for Kaiser Santa Rosa and longstanding member of Sigma Theta Tau since I graduated with my master's in Sonoma State in 2009. Great to be here. I'm not able to turn on my camera yet, but I will when I can. And I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
So, next, Diane. Is that separate from Bob? Is it a different? Anyway, so that's Diane. So the next thing is, yeah, introduce yourself.
I don't know why it's not showing me, but okay, there I am. It's my husband's computer. That's why I'm on this. So I'm Diane. I am a part of this organization as one of the directors for program. And I have, I'm a nurse at Healdsburg District Hospital in the ED. I started at MedSurg there, and I'm in the ED now, and I am enjoying it very thoroughly. What else about me? I have a family, live in Santa Rosa, and I work all the time these days. That's it.
Okay, thank you. And my name is Myra Torres, and I'm the chapter president. I work at John Muir, and I'm a nurse clinician. Okay, so Diane, are you ready to introduce our speaker?
You missed some people.
Oh, who?
Jordan, me, I'm not sure who else.
Oh,
I have my business myself too then.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and Peterson.
Okay, Peterson.
My name is Peter.
My name is Peterson Pierre. I am an assistant clinical professor at UCSF School of Nursing. And I have been with Sigma since 2009 when I graduated with my master's, along with Kelly Allen and Leslie Crane. I've been a nurse for the past 30 years and worked in many different specialty areas, including anesthesia.
Next.
I can go next. Hi, I'm Suzanne Yamado. I am currently the treasurer of the Lambda Gamma chapter of Sigma. I was the vice president of programs for a long time, and then Diane took it over from me, which I was very glad about. And I graduated with Krista and Karen with my MSN in nursing education, and I've been a nurse since 1978, however long that is. Started in labor and delivery, but now work in palliative care. I'm the palliative care educator for the Advanced Illness Management Program at Sutter Health.
Okay, what, did we miss anybody else? I think Eric just joined. Who is Eric?
And Carrie.
Oh.
Hi, this is Carrie Robert Shaw. I work at Kaiser Permanente, and I joined Sigma Lambda Gamma chapter a little over 10 years ago when I was in graduate school, and I've been on the board basically since then. Served in numerous roles, including past president, currently a member of VP of membership, and looking forward to tonight. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
I just wanted to come back and introduce my husband, who's also here tonight, to
Hi, that's me.
listen to our wonderful speakers.
Awesome.
That's it.
Good. And I think, did we miss Jordan? Jordan was preparing to speak. And also Eric just joined.
I already said hi. I guess I didn't mention that I'm the faculty rep for the for Sonoma State.
Thank you for being here. And Eric, I only see Eric, no last name. Is that a different person? Anybody else who we missed before we go to introduce Mr. James?
Okay, I guess I'm good.
Eric is one of my students also, so you know.
Okay.
You might lose me, I'll sign back on.
Okay. So Diane, are you ready?
I'm ready. I just don't know if James is on.
I am on.
Oh, yes,
I'm
you was the first.
Oh, good. There you are. Oh, my goodness. So, James, I won't steal your thunder because I'm pretty sure you'll share a little bit about your situation and where you're at right now and all of this. I have the privilege of knowing James for, I don't know, maybe 2 years, something like that. And he has a phenomenal story to tell, a story of resilience and hope. And James has a heart of gold. That's what I have to say. And he has the biggest smile, as you can see, and it's always such an encouragement to all of us. James has a story that most of us would never even imagine. And his story is helps us understand where people come from a totally different background than we've ever been exposed to. So I'm excited to hear James share. Our other speaker, Constancia, is not able to be with us tonight due to some other extenuating circumstances that we'll go into maybe a little bit later. I'm just excited to introduce to you James Alexander. He lives in Santa Rosa, and he is a upstanding citizen of our community and helps people grow in their education and just to better themselves all around. So let me just introduce you to James Alexander.
Thank you so much, Diane, for your kind words. I really appreciate how you made this so effortless, and thank you for putting it together. You are amazing. Having said that, I should also say thank you to Myra. I guess she's our technically proficient wizard out there.
She is.
So I'm hopeful that Myra will put into the chat my wife's nonprofit, which is the Courage of Hope. So I guess that's www.courageofhope.org. And also maybe the title of my book, which is Courage in the Face of Cruelty, my 28-year journey through the California prison system. That's a lot on your plate there, Myra. I hope you can handle it.
All right, sorry, is it courage as in COURAGE?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. And let me just jump right in. And I should say right at the outset that thank you, all the nurses. I love nurses. And I'm not just saying that to be complimentary. I married one. So anyway, let me tell you a couple stories, and then you'll see how my story transpired. I think nursing is one of the most inspirational of all professions. I know that now. The help and assistance that you all provide to your fellow human beings is just truly, worthy of praise. But let me tell you a little bit about me. When I was growing up, I went to a pretty nice high school on the north side of Chicago. As a matter of fact, it was known as one of the best public high schools in Chicago. It was called Lane Technical High School. At the age of 16, coming back from a high school party, coming back to the south side of Chicago, I was robbed and stabbed and left out in the cold. It was in January in Chicago, so you can imagine the temperature. And there was snow on the ground. I laid out there for about 4 hours before I was found. And when I was found, I was actually transported to the Cook County Hospital. And they actually pronounced me dead on arrival. But there was a nurse who actually saw me on a gurney in the hallway and saw blood coming down my arm and alerted medical staff. And they took me into surgery. They sewed up my wounds, but I had no feeling, no sensation in my body, no feeling from the neck down. And I can remember every day, doctors coming in, poking me with pins and needles in my fingers and in my toes. And I can also remember another nurse that would come in and change my bandages. Change the bandages where I had been stabbed. And I used to be amazed at how quick she would change the bandages and leave. Fast forward a little bit to when I started to regain sensation in my body. And this same nurse that would come in and change the bandages, I quickly figured out how she could move so fast, because when she took the bandages off after I recovered sensation, it was like the worst pain of my life. The pain of her ripping off those bandages. And I was like, oh my God, this is the worst pain I can ever imagine. It feels like she's ripping off my skin. And I can remember screaming so loud that I think maybe I woke up the whole unit from this pain. So I contrast that those early experiences with the nurses. The one nurse who was so kind and considerate And really, I credit her with saving my life. And then the other nurse who was doing her job, but put me in so much pain, it was unbelievable. But I guess I needed to go through something in order to get to something. And fortunately, my impression of nurses only got better from that point on. So that was at 16, and I regained use of all my limbs. And a few years later, maybe a couple years later, I signed up for the US Marine Corps. And I can remember being told that, well, you know, you had all these injuries a couple years earlier, and you may not be able to go through the rigorous training that's necessary to be a US Marine. And I can remember in my mind thinking, you know, I signed up for this. I'm gonna do it. So I entered the Marine Corps, did pretty well, was meritoriously promoted, was able to get, duty stations all around the world. So I was pretty fortunate in that. But then after about 3 years or so in the Marine Corps, I was involved with an accidental murder. And it was in California. I was about 20 years old, 2 separate trials. The first one ended in a hung jury. And then the second one, I was convicted of second-degree homicide. And I went to prison. And in prison, if you can imagine, it's not really the best environment for people to be at or in. As a matter of fact, it's the kind of environment that you don't want to be in. But even in that environment, I wanted to do better. And so I was fortunate to be placed in a prison that offered courses in different marketable skills. One of the courses that I engaged in was an X-ray technician's course. So I became an X-ray technician in the prison system. And as an inmate X-ray technician, you're counted on to X-ray other inmates. And my first job as an X-ray technician was at San Quentin State Prison. And this was in the early 90s. I started on that job in 1995. And working in that healthcare setting, I met many nurses that was part of the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. And they worked for the California Correctional Health Care Services. And I can remember these were dedicated folks wanting to be of service, working in an environment that is not usually conducive to having caring people. But that was my experience. And not just mine. Nurses are treated very well by inmates, very respectful. One nurse in particular, this lady named Tanya, I can remember showing her different X-ray pictures on the view box, on the view screen, and she's making comments. And I can remember in that moment thinking that, wow, even in a prison, you can find a certain level of humanity. And I was so happy. So I wanted to say that if you were to visit the the California Correctional Healthcare Services website and look at their vision statement, their vision statement states that we enhance public safety and promote successful community reintegration through education, treatment, and active participation in rehabilitative and restorative justice programs. So I thought that that sounded pretty familiar to me. So I looked up the website on CDCR, and it's the exact same vision statement. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, a healthcare services organization has the exact same vision statement as the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. So I just thought something was amiss there, something was wrong. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, there should be leadership in that healthcare agency that reflects the type of work that these medical professionals are doing. It shouldn't be the lead of the authoritarian model that we have in corrections. It should be the lead of a person-centered model that we have in healthcare. So I was thinking, wow, as an advocate for prison reform, wouldn't it be great to bring like-minded people, nurses into the profession that can bring about this change in the paradigm, have a paradigm shift away from authoritarian to person-centered. I was thinking about that. And then I ran into that thought about the Nightingale Pledge and that line about being of service to people. How cool that would be to find that in our correctional settings. Can you imagine having incredible nurses in leadership positions within CDCR? There could be real meaningful reforms if this was allowed to happen. Wow, I tell you, in my mind, I want to thank you all for devoting your life to service. Speaking of service, when I was released from prison in 2011, after being in prison for 28 years, I told myself that I would make a difference, that I would devote myself to service. And I did that. I was most fortunate to receive an award as an unsung hero of compassion from His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. So as you can imagine, it's difficult for formerly incarcerated people to get employed. But I tell you what, having an award from His Holiness the Dalai Lama really aided in my job quest. And I received that award because of the work that I did while I was in prison. I wasn't just an X-ray tech. I actually founded different groups to help inmates pursue their own educational hopes and desires. And so it was in recognition of the work that I was doing for prisoners while I was in prison. One of the jobs, my first job really, was with the Sonoma County Department of Health Services. I began my work as of all things, a DUI counselor, trying to talk people out of drinking too much wine. I don't know how good I was at that, but someone in healthcare felt that I was pretty good and after a short time, asked me to join a program that was taking effect in Sonoma County. We have approximately, at least at the last census, 3,500 homeless people in our community. So they wanted me to get on board in the program and see if I could affect change. It was a big ask, but of course I wanted to jump right into it. So I'm a case manager working in really every town in Sonoma County with members in our community who are unhoused. And I've been fortunate. I've experienced some success, I should say success stories, not many, but some. And it gathered some attention. As a matter of fact, I was actually featured in an IBM commercial regarding my work with the homeless. And the governor of the state, at the time, Governor Newsom, asked, what is the secret to changing the homeless situation? Excuse me. And I told him, I says, listen, if I knew the secret, I'd have more success stories. There is no secret. But what I found is if you talk to a human being, like a human being, and just be genuine in your interaction, they will listen to you. Is that enough to make someone change or want to accept whatever assistance you're trying to give them? I don't know if it's enough, but I think it's a starting point. If we treat people as objects or less than, then I don't think we're going to get too far at all. But once we engage with a human being as a fellow human being, I think that makes the path forward much, much better. So let me get to why I love nurses so much, because I married one. And her name is Constancia Boscia. She can't be with us tonight, but I want to share a little bit about what she's doing and how it all came to be. I met Constancia a few years ago when she was considering the nursing profession. She was actually contemplating going out of state to attend a nursing school. But of course, as fate would have it, she met me here in California. And I think she changed her plans. So she actually attended Santa Rosa JC, their nursing program. And then she went on to earn her BSN at Sonoma State University. And I found someone in Constancia that was like-minded. She too wanted to be of service. She too wanted to help her fellow human beings. And she too gladly would take on a burden and make it a successful venture. So we kind of clicked. And yeah, we got married while she was still in nursing school, Kel. So if you can imagine someone going to nursing school, putting on a wedding, and doing all of this in the Napa Valley, and she did it. Oh, I was living over in St. Helena at the time. She was living here in Santa Rosa. But yeah, putting all that together, and she did it. I think nurses can do anything when they put their minds to it. So after we got married, we took a trip to Zimbabwe, and she showed me her home village. And I was, you know, I had seen different parts of the world before in the Marine Corps. But when I got there, it was just, I mean, I was just overcome with emotion because there was so much need in so many different areas. And I'm like, here it is. You know, we have all of this at our disposal in America, in California, and they're still living the way they are. And I says, you know, we have to do something about this. I don't know exactly what we can do, but we need to do something, and we can make a difference. And so Constancia felt the same way. We approached it from the standpoint that, okay, we don't know exactly what we can do, but let's talk about this. And so we talked to some friends when we got back to California, and I told them the things that I had seen, and I'm saying, what can we do to change lives? So a friend of mine says, well, you know, if you have an idea, you should go for it, James. And so I talked to my wife, and I says, you know, why don't you start a nonprofit? And let's see if we can get other like-minded folks to join us and help us to make a difference in the lives of the villagers. And so she did that. And of course, as a nurse, she didn't have any experience running a nonprofit. But like I said earlier, once a nurse put their mind to something, they're going to make it happen. And she did. She started the nonprofit. And so the first order of business was to bring water to the village. That was the first order of business. And she accomplished that with, you know, her work with other folks, talking to other organizations, putting a plan together. She made it happen. She got it done. The next thing on the list, she wanted to bring health, education to the village. And so we're working on that now. I shouldn't have skipped over a part because it's a very important part. It's Rotary International. So I was able to speak to different Rotary clubs, not just in Napa, but here in Santa Rosa, about 4 or 5 different clubs total. And the clubs got together and they put forward a grant. It's called the Rotary International Global Grant. And with that grant, we were able to secure contracts to have wells dug in not just Constancia's village, but in the neighboring village as well. And so we brought a lot of resources to bear on that. And water is really life, it's transformational to the villagers. And so that was a huge undertaking. And we got that that global grant and all of the work put into it, in a year. So we actually moved very quickly on something that usually takes quite a while. But yeah, I have to give a lot of credit to Rotary International. So the next order of business, education. So Constancia believes that educating the girls, the daughters in the village, is transformational. That is that the daughters being educated will actually improve the lives of everyone in the village. Makes a huge difference when young women are educated. So we're just getting started in that effort. Of course, we have major plans, so we're going to have to request major help. But the Carriage of Hope does not shy away from big things. I mean, the acronym for HOPE is helping other people excel. Helping other people excel. And it doesn't matter if these people are found, under the bridge in Petaluma, or, recovering from an overdose in Lake County, or in a village in Zimbabwe where they don't have basic educational materials. Helping other people excel. And that's what we're doing. We're bringing hope, which is necessary. I mean, I went to a wedding in the UK. It was our niece's wedding. And so there was tears shed, and, people were so hopeful that this new young couple would enter, their journey of marriage with not a care in the world. Well, we know that's a pipe dream. We all are going to have stress. We all are going to go through something in order to get to something. And that's part of being human. But we don't have to face it alone. And the people we help are not alone. They have us, even if it's just sounding a call of help, saying that there's a need that needs to be filled. Whatever it is, we want to give voice to what's on our mind and in our heart. Because none of us gets through this journey alone. Let there be no doubt. We've leaned on others, and others have leaned on us. I think back to the person who actually put me up for the Dalai Lama Award. He was a winery owner over in St. Helena. He didn't have to do that. And at the time, other people from California who were part of the vetting process, they had reservations about a formerly incarcerated person being placed in front of the Dalai Lama for that award. But he didn't let that deter him. He fought the good fight. He took the criticism, and he put the nomination through. And when it went through national, and when it got over to Tibet, when it was approved, there was a letter that was written, and it was quoted saying that His Holiness the Dalai Lama would be honored to give you the Unsung Hero of Compassion Award. And it just showed that the faith that they had in me, I wanted to make sure that it would never be regretted, that it would never be regretted. And when I walked across that stage and met the Dalai Lama, and he embraced me. Well, funny thing was that I was told before I walked across the stage, says I was told by some of the folks there, it's a no-no to touch the Dalai Lama. Excuse me. It was a no-no. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, when I walk over to him, I got to make sure I don't touch him. And I got to make sure I don't trip and fall in front of these 500 people that's watching. When I got up to him, he leaned in and he actually embraced me. And when he pulled me close, the words that he said was, "Job well done, my son." And those words have stayed with me throughout my work with Sonoma County Department of Health Services. It has stayed with me through the work that I'm doing with my wife's foundation, the Courage of Hope. And it has stayed with me with human beings that I have the privilege to meet and speak with. You know, we never want to be remembered for the worst things that we've done in our lives. We want to be associated with the good things that we're doing. You know, life is short. We all know that. You're in a profession where you see how valuable life is and how important life is. So you know, for this short time that we're here, we want to make a difference in the lives of others. We want to be of service. And this is the journey. This is the journey that we've all undertaken. And I, like you, well, as I said earlier, once a nurse puts their minds to something, they can get it done, they can accomplish it. But I too want to be able to have that in my life. I want to be able to say that, yes, this has been a job well done. So I think my wife, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the name of the school that my wife is trying to really make into a viable learning center is called the Beta Primary School in the village. And the Beta Primary School, she actually took me there when we were there. And when I saw the condition of the place, she went to that school 40 years ago, more than 40 years ago, and it hasn't changed. It just has gotten worse. And yeah, so we want to make the Beta Primary School a viable learning center where people can learn. So let me say that I hope that you will partner with us, and I hope you will go to our website, my wife's nonprofit, which is called thecourageofhope.org, and look at the website. And if you're so moved, make a donation, right? Sometimes you have to go through something in order to get to something. We all have a story. We all have been on a journey. And mine has taken a lot of turns. But I've ended up here, looking at you all on the screen, and I am encouraged by your presence. Let there be no doubt. Continue on your journey and continue to do well. I think I'm about 6 minutes early. I wanted to have some questions and answer period for about 15 minutes. We may not need 15 minutes, but whatever questions that you may have, whether it's related to my journey, whether it's related to my wife's nonprofit, whatever questions, I'm here for the next 15 minutes to answer them. So with that, I'll turn it over to questions.
James, I wanted to say thank you so much for sharing your story. And one of the first things, one of the reasons I really was drawn to you in the very first place, you and Constancia, is just your, your draw and your heart for other people. I come from that same background where I grew up in another country that was less fortunate than I. So I've seen that kind of existence with the lack of water, the lack of education, and what you and Constancia are doing as a partnership is just so incredibly inspiring for me. And I just, every single time I hear you talk, I'm just so encouraged and want to just jump on board and do whatever you're doing. I wanted to be a part of it. So thank you so much for sharing your story, and just thank you so much for being here too, because you're like across the pond right now. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. And I tell you, yes, sitting in a hotel room, you never know how isolating it could be. But I appreciate that. My only worry was that I wouldn't have Wi-Fi. And so the Wi-Fi has held up. So yeah, I'm so happy that I was able to come on tonight.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about what you're doing in Sonoma County, working with the homeless population, and you're so integrated with Aurora and with those kind of resources, and that's the kind of patient that I see on a daily basis. And I just wanted to know, it's been really difficult this last year, and it's so inspiring and nice to hear your story of hope. And I like your acronym. That's really very profound, I think. And I feel like what you're doing is it's so rolling up the sleeves in the community that we can hardly even touch the tip of the iceberg for. And so what have been some of your struggles in the last year in reaching that population and actually making a difference for them?
Well, I tell you, Diane, it's amazing that, we went through, COVID, and a lot of resources have been brought to bear to our unhoused population. And Sonoma County actually purchased 2 or 3 motels and are converting them into permanent housing. So, I mean, a lot has gone on that has brought this issue to the forefront and brought in a lot of resources. Even at the beginning of the COVID, we saw that places like Sonoma State open up their dorms to allow homeless folks to come in and have a place where we could have contact and know of what the needs are. And so, I mean, even in the midst of something that is so destructive and chaotic, we were able to bring about some good out of it. Now, the mission is to be able to continue with, the strides that we've made, to continue with that. And it's challenging because, once people hear that something is going right in some situations, then you get more people that are coming to Sonoma County looking for more services. So it is challenging, but we have to pursue, we have to move forward, we have to find common ground with agencies, be it governmental or non-governmental, to get involved and to stay involved. So we're fortunate on that front. Even one of our shelters here, Sam Jones, it actually expanded. So they're able to house more people there. So, yeah, it's not all dire and gloom, but it's work that has to continue. And when you speak about those mental health places, especially some of the lockdown places that we have in this county, I think the Behavioral Health Division will be doing more in the future to increase the beds and expand that population. So yeah, things are not as dooming and gloom as it may seem. Thank you.
Thank you for answering those questions. It's always, we always want to know how we can get involved and be aware on a personal level, and how we can implement this into our practice. And so I think that we all have people that we run into on I don't know, depending on what department we're in, but we have people that we are in connection with, and seeing that you're on the other end, the receiving end of some of my patients, is an encouragement to see how the expansion and support goes.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any other questions?
Karen does. I do too.
Hi, Karen.
Hi. Hi. And then Sharon has her hand up next too. You mentioned something about Aurora. Is that an assistance program in Sonoma County?
Yeah, for mental health clients, Aurora. And so, yeah, we need more places, right? Because mental health is a huge issue. As a case manager, one of the programs that I work in, we only deal with people who have mental health diagnosis. And so we work closely with places like Aurora to place these individuals. On my caseload, as a case manager, I have people who not only have mental health diagnosis, but they have co-occurring disorders also, substance use disorders, which is, doubly difficult in relating and bringing forth resources. So it's necessary to have places that are available where a case manager can still maintain contact with the client. I wanted to say something more about substance use disorder. Oh, the Behavioral Health Division has contracts with different treatment facilities. And some of these treatment facilities, they limit the medications that people take for their mental health diagnosis, which is problematic because these individuals, it's necessary that they have their medications in order to function. So you get into that, and I don't know how old or how long this has been going on, but you get into this debate about, well, no, they have to be clean and sober before you can assess their mental health. And then you say, well, they can't get clean and sober if they're on this mental health medication. So this is a fight that, we thought that we had won many years ago, and it still rears its head, this parity deal. And yeah, it's kind of disappointing, but you have to fight it one fight at a time. And so I'm doing that with some of my clients and some of the placements. I hope I answered your question. Sorry about that, Karen.
That's okay. I was trying to figure out who you were a case manager for. Is it Department of Health or?
Yes, Department of Health Services, Sonoma County.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we're actually, we've created what they call the interdepartmental multidisciplinary team. where we bring different agencies together, agencies from, health services, human services, probation, just bring all the agencies together so we can all communicate in what they call a wraparound fashion for our clients. And it has been helpful. I've been a case manager with the IMDT team for, I guess, since its inception. So it's been going on for a while. I think Sharon, right?
Sharon Kaplan has her hand up. Thanks.
Hi, yeah, thank you for taking my question, and thank you for sharing your story. It's so inspirational, and I'm really glad I got to hear it. And those words, courage and hope, just like your story just exemplifies those words. So my question is about prison reform. You talked about nurses being presence of humanity in the prison. But I was just wondering, are you still involved in prison reform? And what do you think that we as nurses and nursing students and nurse practitioners and nursing instructors can do to help in this arena of prison reform? Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you for your question, Sharon. And I do have an answer, but I'm going to keep it under 10 minutes. I'm looking at Karen's dog, though, so that's hard to get my head straight. But yes, nurses can play a huge part in the correctional system. I think that we just think about prisons, but there's jails also. I mean, there's ways to get involved that does not require actually working in the prison. I'm also a member of the Alternatives to Violence Project, and we go into prisons and we put on workshops, 3-day workshops. I did one last month. Last month was September, right? I'm losing track of the days, but yeah, I went into a prison up in High Desert, Susanville. And we put on a 3-day workshop. We talked to a group of inmates about, how are they coping with the stress and the frustrations of being locked down and not having any programs because COVID has actually, shut down the institution as far as volunteers. We were one of the first volunteers to go into that prison in almost a year. That was just last month. And these guys, they were so happy to see us. And they kept saying, man, how were you able to achieve, they see me and they think that I'm some kind of a success story. And I tell them that each one of them, each one can come out and benefit society. All they have to do is just have that mindset that they're not going to let any obstacle stand in their way. So I still advocate for prison reform. I still talk to people about it. And every opportunity I get, I go into the jail here, the main adult detention facility, on a weekly basis. I have to see clients too. But I don't think there's anything that's out of bounds or off limits. I think, once we put our head to something, we can accomplish something. I tried to run for a commission, not run, but I tried to get appointed by the governor as a commissioner to the parole board because in those 28 years in prison, I went in front of the parole board maybe 13 different times. And it wasn't until I had my own lawyer that they actually listened to me. And I don't think that it should be that way, that if you have the funds to pay for a lawyer, you get better service. So anyway, there needs to be more equity. And the governor actually gave me a hearing. He actually listened to me, or his people. I was interviewed by 4 different folks. So they actually gave me a listening. But in the end, the governor decided to go a different direction, which is understandable. There's never been a formerly incarcerated person on the parole board before. So it would be one of those historic type of deals, and he may have gotten a lot of flack from law enforcement. And at the time, the governor was not wanting to take on that. At least I don't think so. Thank you for your question, Sharon. I have about 4 minutes before my hard stop. I see a hand.
Jackie?
Thank you. First, James, I'd like to say thank you for speaking with us. It's obvious to me, and I'm sure most other people on the call, what an amazing human being you are with the journey that you've taken. So I just want to commend you for the strides and that you've made given that journey. My question is piggybacking a little bit on reform, in that it seems like a big part of your journey was affiliated with going to school within prison with the program that was offered, in your case, the X-ray technician program. There are many politicians and citizens who feel like giving public funds to educate incarcerated people may not be a worthy cause. And obviously, in your case, it definitely was. But I want to ask, would you speak to or give us a feel for what led you to take those first courses, and maybe not just you, but some of the people you were in those classes and courses with? What kind of people or life visions did those people have to make a citizen feel it's worth my taxpayers' money to have a program in such a community?
Wow, that is so powerful. I'm glad that this is being recorded, because I'm going to want to look at this question again and share with other folks. I mean, it's a big deal. In California, the CDC, that the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, their budget for 2019 and 2020, I think, was $12.5 billion. $12.5 billion. Out of that $12.5 billion, $100 million was allocated for education. $12.5 billion, and you're going to allocate $100 million for education. I mean, it shows that the priority is so skewed. It's just unbelievable. So it needs to be, I don't know, it needs to be publicized that the money that the taxpayers are spending for their correctional facilities is not in line with rehabilitation. When I spoke earlier about the CCHCS and their vision statement, how do you have a vision statement where you're not actually doing the work? I mean, if I had 12.5 billion, there is no way that I would be putting forth, allocating only $100 million. I mean, that's embarrassing. I was fortunate to go to a prison that offered the X-ray technicians program, but out of the 35 prisons in California, only one prison offered that. Out of 35, only one. So when you're talking about a population that was close to 200,000 at the time, 200,000 people, but a program that could only take 25 people twice a year out of 200,000, you know, I was most fortunate to be selected to go to that program. But there needs to be more prisons with more programs like that to help more people. And then the recidivism rate wouldn't be so high. But there's not. If you only allocate 100 million out of a $12.5 billion budget, you're not reaching the numbers of people which you could. So it's really quite disgraceful. It's a shame. Thank you, Jacqueline, for your question. Thank you all. I tell you what, you got me fired up tonight. And I'm encouraged by your presence. All of you, keep doing the great work that you're doing. Sigma, Lambda, what a remarkable chapter you have. Continue it, continue the great work. I have to head back to the States now.
Thank you so much, James. Oh my word, if we could just give you a round of applause on our Zoom, we would. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and for sharing your story, your vision, your stories of courage and hope, and just exposing us to briefly about like just the struggles that you faced, and yet how you did not allow those struggles to weigh you down. You rose above it, and how now you are trying to make an effort to empower other people. Thank you so much for blessing us with your time.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you all.
When you get back.
Safe travels. Yes.
Have safe travels, and we'll see you soon.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
I'm going to turn it back to.
Bye, thank you.
Hello, everybody. I haven't seen you guys in a long time.
I know. So thank you for coming, everyone. So we need your evaluation also. And I would like to elicit more. If anybody want to say something about this very inspirational talk, they can speak now. I know James have limited time, but I think it's important for us nurses to feel our well, because we're like, this pandemic has ravaged us, you know, in the community, personally, in our work. And we just, good thing, I mean, thank you, Diane, for bringing James to us, because it's very inspirational. We needed to fill our well with stories of hope. I mean, he can endure 28 years of incarceration and come out a human being and remind us about our humanity. And still, we have to find a ray of light in our darkness right now. Thank you for that. So anybody else want to share what they feel? And also, we need your evaluation. It's going to help us in the future. Yes, the recording will be available. There are still some students who want to view it.
I would just encourage everybody to read the book that he wrote, The Courage in the Face of Cruelty, because, you know, we all in our human existence face challenges, but this man has faced so many, and his decisions about the course of his life have been an amazing thing within that incarceration situation. So speaking about how to have courage and how to have resilience in the face of so much that was going on for him is just an amazing thing for me to even think about.
Thank you, Elena. Thank you for saying that. His book is absolutely incredible. We posted it right here on or Myra posted the link. It's on Amazon available. And we were going to have him have personal signings at our dinner tonight. Obviously that didn't work out. But he's such a humble guy, and he, you know, it's just an incredible read, and it's an easy read. You can hear him speaking just like he spoke to you tonight through his words.
Yeah. And it gives us information and food for thought about how we can make decisions to get through our life.
Absolutely.
So I have something that I wanted to say. I'll keep it brief, which you know isn't easy for me. But this is my personal opinion, and especially directed at the students on here. One of the best reasons to belong to a nursing professional organization like Sigma Theta Tau and to go to professional meetings is networking. So on Zoom, I'm always kind of disappointed if people aren't showing their faces, because I would like to see faces to put to the names. I cannot promise you at this point I will remember your name and your face, but I'm better at faces. So if we met someplace else, I would have a better chance of remembering that I met you on here and that you did show up to a professional meeting like this. And I'm kind of wondering if Karen promised extra credit to our clinical students. It's amazing that you all came. So if you would like to switch to turn your video on. Hi there. Well, Sharon, you were on before. Thank you. I would appreciate it.
Diane, I wanted to ask, how did your path cross with James? Might be on mute.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
muted.
Diane, you're on mute.
Thank you. Well, you know, I just live in this little area in Rincon Valley in Santa Rosa, and after the fires hit and some neighbors decided to move, a house became available right across the street from me, and these people, James and Constancia, miraculously moved in, and that's how our paths crossed.
That's great that your neighbors, yeah.
Unbelievably blessed by their friendship, and just they're fabulous people.
Cool.
You can be showing your picture, Lindsay.
So Lindsay, anybody else want to share their reaction? And Kimberly, I can see you now. Anybody want to share about their reaction or how James' testimony touched their hearts?
I'd love to hear what one of the students had to say. What did you all think about it? If anyone wants to speak up.
I don't even know where to begin.
I knew you would, Kimberly.
I got to have a tour of the Marin County Jail, not last week, but the week before, during my midterm evaluation for my current clinical rotation. And I am so valuing my community health portion of the courses that I'm in now, and I can't wait to get even more involved now after hearing James speak. So I'm really excited about all the possibilities there.
Great. I had a friend who was a prison librarian, and it was like the best job of her life. You know, she felt like it was so meaningful, and like James was saying, how the nurses are so respected. That's how she felt too. I mean, she felt very safe, very, you know, and totally respected and appreciated for what she was doing.
I was at that tour of the Marin County Jail, and there are a number of nurses that have had experiences doing clinicals there, and a few of them have taken jobs at the jail because they were just really enthralled with it in terms of really giving back something to the community. So I think nursing, there was an FNP there that gave us the tour, and obviously very involved and very engaged with the inmates. And I think nursing offers a lot to the inmates in a jail.
Okay, so my name's Lindsay. I'm one of Karen's students. Sorry, I'm driving him, and I know this is dangerous, but I really love to hear his perspective on things because, you know, as a nurse, you only really know the impact that you're making if people speak up, and, you know, jail's a very serious thing. So knowing that he was able to feel all the things that he felt from the compassion he received from the nurses, it opened my eyes a lot to what we bring to our community and to our patients, because you know, they don't have much in there. And to have someone make you feel the way that he felt, I feel like that's very powerful. And I really respected that he was able to share the ups and downs of his life and how far he's come. So thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Thanks for showing up.
Anybody else want to share? So again, please do the evaluation, and you're all invited to be members. And also, Diane, invite Constancia to be a member since she's a nurse. Maybe we can also support her efforts through the organization.
So funny story, she actually is a member. We inducted her in 2019. I can't remember, Karen. It was at the last one that we did live, so it must have been 2019, right?
Yeah.
But I was reviewing the names of the people that we were inducting the next day, and this is actually before I had met them, but I didn't really put two and two together. I was looking at the roster. I didn't know she was a nurse, and I saw our street address pop up on her name, and I thought, well, that's crazy. That's like right across the street from me. And I was about to text her saying, you're coming tomorrow, right? And it just dawned on me that that's my neighbor. So anyway, it's a small world, and she is part of our organization already.
We should get her on the board.
I know, right?
So awesome. Thank you, Diane. Thank you. Thank you for everybody for showing up. And then, yeah, do the evaluation. We need your email addresses, and anybody who wants to get credit, please give us, do the evaluation, then we'll give you credit also. And after a $10 fee. And I think that's it. Join us in the induction in February. And then also you can submit grants and scholarships after becoming members. Your membership pretty soon. Just subscribe in our Facebook page, and also email us or go to the website. Thank you, everybody. See you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll put up the recording soon. I'll put up the recording in the website. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.